And we are live. Hello,
Hello.
everyone. Welcome to episode number 3 of ChatGDG, which is an interesting, sounds good. And I'm more than pleased to welcome Darinka with us. Thank you for joining. Thank you for giving me your time.
Thank you, Stefano, for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be in episode number 3.
Yeah, it's pretty early journey for us here at ChatGDG, but hopefully now we're gonna be a little bit more consistent in our schedule. How are you today?
Very good. I had a very busy day. Just finished my lecturing just 15 minutes ago, and now ready for the final podcast of the day or final episode.
Wow, what did you teach?
Product management, because I'm originally a product manager. So, yeah, that's what I can teach right now.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. So, if you don't mind, I would ask you to introduce yourself for the people who are listening and maybe are not familiar with you. So, maybe your journey so far, and we will take it
Mm-hmm.
from there. Okay.
Okay, so yeah, for start, I give a short introduction. So I'm Darinka. I live in Berlin for the past 4 years. Originally, I'm a product manager for startups. I've worked with more than four different startups in different stages in Berlin. And my specialty as a product manager is discovery. So iterating fast on products and understanding user problems, creating MVPs and iterating based on user feedback. And maybe what is interesting to share with the audience that in the last year I was traveling for almost 6 months in Asia, and I was hopping different countries. So I visited 11 different countries in Southeast Asia, and
In
yeah,
6 months.
in 6 months, correct.
Wow,
So
that's impressive.
yeah, I was country hopping, and since then I was awarded by the title digital nomad. So yeah, this is something I can talk about in the later stage. And yeah, that's a short introduction about myself.
That's pretty good. I've lived in Berlin. Actually, that is something that not many people knows for a short time span. Like was like 6 months or something,
Okay, yeah.
but it was pretty cool. It was a long time ago, like 10 years
Okay,
back.
now
It was like
Berlin is
20.
different, but yeah, the Berlin vibe remains.
Yeah, the Berlin vibes. Yeah, that was fun, or at least has been fun for
Yeah, at
me
least
at the time.
that what Berlin is. At least it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. There is the nightlife is incredible. When I moved to London, the nightlife is in Berlin is quite more vivid.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty good. So, are you enjoying being there? I would imagine, like
Yes,
after 4 years.
definitely. Definitely, I think Berlin, especially for young digital nomads or entrepreneurs, it's the place to be because there are so many opportunities. Not only the light life, as you mentioned, but also a lot of startup communities, a lot of investors, events. Uh, all the time, there are workshops and courses about the new trending technologies, AI. So it's a very vibrant community, and a lot of people from abroad are moving to Berlin. So it's also international community, and it's really a place to be, especially in summer. So yeah, it has been an enjoyable journey so far.
That's pretty good, actually. Yeah. Do you think that Berlin is on the same level of, for example, Amsterdam? I think those are the two cities right now in Europe, right? Clearly,
Mhm.
after Brexit, London, it's a little bit difficult, but
Yeah,
you
yeah.
think those two are the hubs, the technological hubs for in Europe?
Absolutely, I would totally agree. Amsterdam, Berlin, maybe even Paris are the technology startup cities or startup hotspots, especially for early stage startups, because there's the talent that is moving from abroad, especially tech talent who are basically helping to shape those startups, and also the access to funding and to governmental support, to a lot of uh, also experiences that you can share when it comes to building a startup is present in both cities. I think it's hard to measure which city is better in terms of startup ecosystem, because I think Berlin catch up a lot in the last years. But yeah, those are the two hotspots I see right now as well. Yeah.
Okay, nice one. Let me quickly say hi to Rafael. Hello, cheers
Rafa.
for joining. That's pretty interesting because when I moved to Berlin 10 years back, Berlin was pretty cheap. Now probably I've heard that maybe it's not that cheap anymore, but when I joined, it was really, really cheap, and maybe that was one of the reason why many people, moved there. So
That's correct, but unfortunately, those times are over. It's not that cheap anymore. I think compared to maybe London and Amsterdam, is still cheaper in terms of like basic life, but it's definitely not as before. And with the inflation and all the market changes, definitely it's becoming more expensive, especially with the how popular Berlin became in the last years and how many people moved here. It's also the housing situation is becoming difficult, but I think it's nothing too crazy. It's still a very good place to be, and probably it's still price performance ratio still better than maybe London or maybe the other cities.
very interesting. Rafael says something very interesting and very right. Many foreign companies also moving to Portugal. Yes, because there are some benefits and incentive from the government, and also, Portugal is a beautiful country. I've been in Porto, which I absolutely love. It's beautiful. Lisbon, amazing. So good weather, good people, very good food, and I think the cost of living is pretty good too. So yeah, I will definitely add, Portugal to the array of countries where someone in tech, if you people want to, wander around a little bit, you can go in these countries without any problem. So I'm curious about so many things about you. So first thing first, you are a product person, right?
Yes, product person. That's the right
Product person.
explanation. Yes.
Yes. So I know, and then I just want to take this moment to say to the people, because for some reason there are still people out there, they think that tech equals coding. That's absolutely not true. Coding is a pretty important part. Engineering, software engineering, and all the disciplines out there, clearly they are very important. But there are so many other roles: product, UI, UX. I mean, project management, agile, and so many more. So I know how important is product. I work for the Times, and as you can imagine, it's a big product, right? So it's a very heavily product led. So yeah, why did you choose to become a product person?
Oh, that's a very difficult question because I was engineer as well. So I graduated computer science and engineering.
I didn't know. Very
I'm
interesting.
I'm a techie as well. I used to code, but then I wanted to actually be on the site where you actually design the things, build the product, talk to customers, something that is more, how to say, dynamic. And that's why I switched to. I wasn't sure what I want to do. I just wanted to do try different things, and then I did my master's in actually in the UK in Nottingham for entrepreneurship and innovation management. So here basically I discovered this magic of building something from zero, so from zero to hero.
Hmm.
And having my technical background, it was basically for me very fascinating to actually build technology products and identify problems to be solved and identify the solution and iterate an early stage solution. So basically I joined my first role after my master's was product manager, and since then this is the role where I fully identify with, because it's very dynamic and you can really be engaged with your customers, with your stakeholders, design the solution, so be on the driver's seat, of course, together with engineers. But this drive for discovering a problem and trying to solve a problem and iterating a solution or try to fit what solution, what technical solution you want to design to actually solve this problem was really what was my main driver, my motivating factor. And since then I never went back to coding and still doing product management and product discovery. So yeah, and as you said, I believe it's not the point just to build things, to build products. The more important thing is to build the right products for the right people, for the right problems. So that's why for me it was even more motivating factor to continue the product route. And yeah, I think I will continue this. I don't see myself going back to tech,
Going back.
to coding anytime
Okay. That's very, very interesting. The fact that you have this technical background, right? So even if it's not a, a decade, I would imagine maybe it's slightly shorter, right? But this technical background can really set you apart, right, from many other product people. Because I see this, for example, when you have in your team can be a product person or a project manager, so a little bit more on the agile
soon.
side, that
Mhm.
they have been and engineers in the past, even
Yeah,
10 years back or something, but this technical knowledge can really help. So you can
absolutely.
really, I would imagine that you know how to speak with devs, right?
Yeah, so far I haven't had a problem with engineer communication.
Yeah, that's very important. That's very important. I've done something similar-ish. Of course, I'm not a product manager, I'm an engineering manager, but now I'm completely hands off since quite a little bit. And I also moved I shift my focus. You know what I mean? I shift my interest. Is not just tech or coding, but it's more about people now, about people hiring processes, training, that kind of side of things. And like you, I clearly use my technical background. I've been software engineer for over 16 years. Well, I mean, I've been there, I've done that. Fine. I'm now more interested in some other stuff, but also you always using my technical background because I need to speak with people, I need to manage people, software and engineers. So I think it's really important to know how things work there. So this is
Absolutely.
super interesting. I think your technical background is a really big selling point, I would imagine. When you are you what's the deal? Are you working for a company? Are you freelancing?
I was working for various startups for 4 or 5 years, but since the last year, I am an independent contributor, so as a freelancer.
Mm,
And I either work and hands-on as a product manager or user researcher because I believe big part, maybe
yeah.
more than 50% of product management job nowadays is user research. So this is at one point, but because recently I am also mentoring other product managers, I discovered that coaching is something I also love to do. It also gives me energy, and I can
Mm,
really explain complex topics in a very simple way. So I have had also clients where I am more of a product coach and establish processes, coach the internal product managers or on product topics, how to establish the process, how to speak to customers, how to structure their meetings better, how to communicate to engineers, which is a very important topic.
mm.
So this is something I love doing now more because it's something new and I'm super into it now in coaching and driving the whole process, driving the whole team. So yeah, I'm also a product coach and product discovery coach on the research side.
It's pretty cool. Sorry, let me say hi to Tibor. Hello, Tibor. Thank you for joining. Cheers. That's pretty interesting. So you pretty much, if I am a startup, for example, I'm setting things up. So clearly, I don't have almost any process in place or whatnot. I can hire you, right, for
Yes,
I think a temporary amount of time. You can come in, you can bring your expertise in order to streamline some of these things, right? Okay.
absolutely, yes. Especially for early stage startups because that's my core expertise. Who have no processes at the beginning normally,
Yeah.
who are maybe not fully understanding the iteration phase, the building MVP, getting customer feedback, getting customer insights, and iterating fast. So this is my core expertise, and also once this process of iterations is set up, then how to onboard the first product people, the first product manager, how to set the initial processes, the initial pipeline of getting the continuous customer feedback. So this is very important for early stage startup. So this is correct, something that I I can do, I believe, pretty well. So yeah, for those type of companies, I believe it's where we can work great together.
Pretty interesting. So have you ever worked, probably not, but would you want to work, at least to have an experience, to be working as a product person, product manager, senior product manager, head of product, in that ballpark for a big corporate?
I think yes. The benefit of big corporate is because they're massive and there's such an innovation potential there, because there's so many different people with different perspective, different background, and the opportunity to innovate there is so high that I believe having someone, let's say, from the startup world like me, who has been in this let's say iteration mess, or getting things done quickly and getting things getting breakthrough innovation discoveries through this research, I think what would really benefit a corporate. So if I would have such an opportunity, I would definitely join and really try to bring this. Would be interesting to bring this fresh different perspective of building products to a corporate, and if that can change and can have impact in, let's say, 6 months to maybe a year, I think this would be really something that I would be very motivated to do as well.
Yeah, I 1000% agree with you. You got to experience, you need to get exposed to different things, right? Because that is the only way in which you can say, I really like that. Or you can start doing some comparison. Super early stage startup and maybe super big corporate, 20,000 people. So very different words, but clearly there are pros and cons, right? In
Yeah,
here and in there. So I think it's important to live through pretty much that. We've got a very good question from Rathel. So, what was your biggest learning from this transition from software engineer to project manager that you think every engineer should practice as a software engineer? Very nice
absolutely.
question.
Thank you very much, Rafael, for this question. I think it's critical question for engineers. So because I come, let's say, from this path, when I was an engineer, I was just looking at my requirement, and just my goal was to build a perfect code, and the code to have no bugs, to test it, to be optimized. But when I was an engineer, I was never thinking, what is this code doing to the customer? How is this code helping my customer to achieve something? Is it helping someone? Does it deliver any value? And I believe because the engineers are experts in the field, they're so much focused on their code and on the actual technical part, without zooming out and seeing, okay, what am I building for the customer? What is the value that I'm delivering? And I think if engineers can shift this perspective of thinking, okay, my goal is not just to build perfect code, my goal is to build a feature that will help my customer. And I think when you are an engineer, the best thing you can do is always ask your product manager, why are we building this? What problem are we solving? What is the value for the user? And having this, and because I believe building a product is not just product manager telling engineers what to do. I believe building a product is a constant collaboration between engineers and product and design, and all team members together. I believe as engineer, the best thing is that you can do, guys, is propose or challenge the feature, propose a better solution, say, oh, but this drop down, we don't use it anymore, we have a better component, or this feature flow is too long, we have this new component, or with new AI model we can shorten this in half. So having this thinking of, okay, my job is not just to read a requirement and do it, my job is to understand what is the goal of the feature, understand the problem, and then together we propose a solution the best. So if engineers can just shift this perspective of thinking in a solution and in value delivered, I think this would be a breakthrough team, and you will build great products.
Yeah, that makes sense. This is all about culture, right? So what kind of culture are you building in your company, your startup, in your corporate? The culture of everyone should be heard, right? Because that's, I think, very
Exactly.
important. And also, as you correctly pointed out, also I think it's very important to try to have the key people in key roles in the early stage meetings. So
Correct.
because more often than not, as you probably know better than me, sometimes can happen that there is a feature, so maybe the product person, but sometimes not even the product person. Sometimes that comes from you know. I
Exactly.
mean, above, if exec says we need to build that, it's not very easy to challenge that, right? So there is this little bit of back and forth. So if it's top down, then pretty much your job is to try to deal with that thing. So it's not more about you deciding what to do, but almost someone else upper in the chain.
That's
And
correct.
then, when there are so many layers, things often can get lost, little bit
Mhm,
of miscommunication and all of that, because it is normal, right? If something needs to go
mhm,
through
mhm.
so many layers. So I think it's very important to have these key people, to have a kickoff meeting, engineering, UI, UX, delivery, product, whoever is needed. And chances are that these three roles are always needed, right? Because when you build something, you need pretty much these three roles. So yeah, very very interesting. I would like to jump on your digital nomad life, because that is super interesting, something that I haven't done. So I'm curious, jealous, scared, I don't know. It's a mix of emotion. So
Yes, exactly.
first thing first, why? So at some point you just woke up in the morning, I should traveling South Asia for 6 months. What was the
Um,
deal there? No.
exactly. So it was not exactly like this.
Mm.
It was maybe something that I wanted to do for a longer time. But because of I wanted to do actually just before Corona or when the pandemic started. So that was when I was planning to start traveling. But my travel plans was maybe 3-4 weeks and then come back and then go again. And then I couldn't do it for 2 years, and then I was that was still on my list, not for so long, but just for a few weeks. And then I was working in a full-time job, and every time I was planning to do, there was some important project or there was some company policies because of some regulations that I could not have done it in this way. So that was how I was that was one of the drivers why I wanted to try something different and try to basically do projects on my own, which how I started to freelance. And now since I was basically freelancer, I was thinking, okay, now I want to do something really different, something that could really I can learn from, not just work in a company for 8 hours and just do the same routine over and over again. Even if it's a new project, it's again the same process. It's again the same sprint planning. It's the same routine. So I wanted something completely different, something that I could really get a new perspective, learn something new. And then this was immediately I knew I wanted traveling. So how first it was initially planned to be 1 month, but then when I was there, I was thinking, okay, maybe now that I have this time and that I can work on a project that I decide, I can find project there in Asia and work there and stay longer. So that's how the chain of thought started. And then I find a project there that I could work with locals. I visited a lot of startup accelerators. I visited a lot of events, met a lot of investors, worked with startups, also organized events there. Was a speaker in Tokyo for Woman Tech Maker. Organized another event. So then that's how it started. And then I basically enjoyed it so much. I worked for another companies also in Europe remotely, and then was such a massive change of new experiences, also new culture, meeting new people, how things work, working with with different people. Even working in Indonesia and working in Japan was so different. So that completely changed my mindset, and I enjoyed so much that I stayed for 6 months. And then now that I'm back, I wasn't sure what is the right path, but
Mm.
after this trip, for me it's completely clear that being this independent contributor, that you can really bring this new perspective to the companies, is what is the USP, what brings value. So that's how I decided, okay, I continue this path, and then maybe I do another trip in winter or something soon.
Well, that's pretty interesting, actually. So, wow, so many things to discuss about. So, the most important thing now, so do you think that Berlin is your, let's say, home base? And then you, from, Berlin, you would like to hop on maybe a little tour, maybe a month, couple of months, maybe more, and
Yeah,
then come back like your base, right?
yeah, Berlin will be my best because I have my home here, my friends, my
Mhm.
life is here. But doing these 1 2 month exploration trips, as I call them, exploration trips, are really what drives me motivated, and really opens new perspectives, and you learn so many things. And I think these problem solving skills are so much enhanced, and you really think differently, that I think you only can experience and can learn that where you are a completely different country or even continent. That, yeah, for the next few years, that's my plan, to do country hopping for 1 2 month a year.
You said something which I really believe in. So the problem solving, skill is something that definitely is gonna benefit from your experience, right? Because I would imagine that you get to solve quite a few issues, different country, different things, catch the flight, book an accommodation. I mean,
Yeah,
all of that, and then we'll probably discuss a couple of these challenges. But what was very interesting is like this one. So your experience can really bring you, is almost that you are creating new connection in your brain, right? Because you get exposed to so many different things, so many different stuff that you need to solve, but
exactly.
not in the same way, right? Because we all of us, we have challenges to solve every single day, right? But
Absolutely.
the difference is probably many of us, we need to solve a certain amount or a certain type of challenge.
Exactly. And
Now,
yeah,
yes,
yeah,
and that's why you are creating just literally new, network in your
exactly.
brain, which is great.
Especially because that happens continuously, one
Yeah.
after another. So imagine I was in Thailand and Vietnam in November, and then in April in Japan. So from Vietnam to Japan, there's such a massive difference that uh, my brain could not really. I needed few days to process in Japan what is
Mm,
happening, and that was such. So in Europe now, I see we are kind of in the middle in terms of development after seeing Japan. While after visiting Vietnam, I thought, oh
mm,
my God, Germany and Europe, we are so much advanced.
yeah.
Oh my God, and then I was learning how people basically solve really basic existential entrepreneurial problems. And then I traveled 2 months, 3 months after to Japan, and then I see a different world, much more technological advances that I could not even imagine exist. So this whole new perspective from one spectrum of the scale to the other was totally crazy, and especially because I had a similar project in Indonesia, and then exactly the same project in Tokyo, that and how things worked in the flow and the way, and how the community was engaged, and how we organized things in just these close places, was an absolute mind blower. So yeah, this is the only chance that you can learn and experience is by actually being there on the ground. So
Yeah.
yeah, I can totally recommend such a tour for all entrepreneurial spirits out there who want to explore and learn. 2 months in a completely new continent is the only way, as I see it for now.
Wow, very interesting. I've got two easy questions. So the
Okay,
first one, like 11 countries in 6 months, right? Okay.
correct.
So what was the best one? So, or I mean, best is a loosely term. What was the one that really stood with you? Can be for bad things, for good things, for whatever. That's question number one. Question
Mm-hmm.
number two, again, 11 countries in 6 months is quite intense, I would imagine. So I'm sure that you have faced quite a few challenges. What was the biggest one? The one that you said, oh, I may not even, fix that, or
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay, so the number one country is maybe an obvious choice, Japan,
okay.
because I was totally impressed. And it's not that I have not been traveled, because Japan was my 49th country that I have visited overall, so not in the last years, but overall.
Mm,
So, and before, after visiting Indonesia, Malaysia, Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, they were so similar that I thought, okay, nothing can surprise me or impress me anymore. That was my attitude.
mm,
And then I go to Japan, and I was like, wow, what is this? I was totally mind blown, and I'm calling my friends, and I was so excited. And they were like, Darinka, you visited 49 countries. How can you be so excited? Like, you travel, you're there for 5 months. I said, yeah, that's what I thought. But Japan was an absolute mind blower, from everything, from how advanced they are in technology, how the society works, how clean it is, how people are always on point, always polite, how people are very, how to say, due diligent. And
Yeah.
you can really, on the project we worked, we only had to basically agree on something once on one meeting, and it was as we agreed 100% 1 month later when the project actually started.
Wow, this is unheard of.
For me as a product manager who always needs to double check
Yeah.
and double communicate and ensure that things go smooth and remind people, this was an absolute mind blower. And everything combined in Japan was amazing. So yeah, it's I think for everyone who loves traveling, even not like crazy like me, but even a little bit, Japan is an obvious choice to visit.
Are we talking about Tokyo or different other cities?
So I was there almost a month. I visited different places. So from the island Okinawa, which was
Mm,
like more summer vacation, to Kyoto, which is more a cultural capital, to Osaka, which is business capital, and then the bullet train to Tokyo. So every place was different, even in Japan. And then I met some other friends who traveled there. They visited Hiroshima and some other places. They
mm,
said, and those places are more different.
yeah.
So I think only Tokyo will not be enough to really feel the culture of Japan. I think going with the bullet train
Mm,
throughout the country is the best way, especially because with the bullet train you can reach from one place to another in 2 hours. So basically,
it is
Tokyo to
crazy.
Kyoto is 2 hours with bullet train, and it's like 500 kilometers. So traveling there, it's not a problem. And to your second question,
Mm,
so in general, all the tour was smooth. I think because I have had exercised this problem solving, especially quick problem solving thing already. So everything that come up, I didn't see it as a challenge or as a problem, even
mm,
though there were some challenges in Thailand with the visa, so I had to solve it on on the spot. But I didn't see it as something as a problem. I see it as a something like my normal thing. Okay, I need visa. Fine. I had already
sure.
5 visas.
Not a big deal.
Not
So
a big deal. You cannot get in the country because I have no visa.
no
No big.
problem.
What can I do now? Okay, I can buy it more expensive, no problem. So there were some challenges which I did not fail it. It was more of like I wanted to solve it. It was like exciting for me. The only very different thing was when I reached Korea first time. So South Korea,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
because
hopefully, because North Korea maybe.
yeah, just to make sure to make clear, it's South Korea.
Mm,
And because it's so different there, and because of the influence of North, they don't have Google Maps, they don't have Uber, my credit card didn't work, I could not get SIM card. So it
okay.
was something very, let's say, different, and also arrived very late at night when I landed 2 a.m. So I could not get that immediate transportation. So this was, and I could not get SIM card, I could not withdraw cash. So this was, I checked Google Maps,
Okay.
don't work. I check Uber, doesn't work. I try to get my German SIM card, also didn't work. So this is the when I said, okay, this will not be smooth. I need to find a way now to work. So basically, I already had contacted local people there who we already met before. So they basically told me download this app and this app,
Mm, mm,
and then you can get a virtual SIM card here. And then I got some other transportation card which I could use for transportation. So in one day I solved all the challenges, but this was the only moment when I said, okay, now this is something completely different, completely out of I could imagine. And yeah, it was so interesting because by when I want to go somewhere, by default I open Google Maps and then it doesn't work, and then I said, okay, I need these maps. And then when I need an Uber or a taxi, I open Uber, it doesn't work, and I'm like, what happens?
mm.
Okay, yeah, Korea, it doesn't work. So in Korea was the only place where I had maybe some different challenges. but solving them was fun, and now basically I feel like there's nothing I cannot solve.
Well, you can go on Mars pretty much, and it should be
Exactly.
fine, right?
Let's go. I feel, yeah,
Let's
and
go.
I don't
I'm
need visa for Mars.
Yeah, I'm not yet.
Yes,
Maybe soon. So I'm quite curious because I never been in both Japan and South Korea, but I knew that South Korea also is quite technologically advanced, right?
that's
So
correct.
what's the comparison like Seoul and Tokyo?
So correct. Seoul is also very clean. The transportation system is perfect. Like there everything is organized. Everything is properly communicated. Even if there's so many people, but there's no crowds. There's no rushing. There's no like
Mm.
our European way, which was also different way. People queue to get in the metro, which I was like, why are you people queuing? The metro is here. Why are you not running? People queue. Then if there's no space in the current train, people don't like run and don't squeeze. They wait for another one because it's in just 2 minutes, and literally just 2 minutes comes. So nobody runs. So the whole experience in Seoul was also very smooth. I enjoyed very much. They're also very technology advanced. I think the difference between Tokyo and Seoul is that Tokyo is more homogeneous. So there are no outliers like some in Tokyo. There was super highlighted anime districts, then super very different party districts, super high end business
Okay.
centers, super high tech residential areas. So there were so many. So there were cities within the cities in Tokyo, and in Seoul I felt it's a little bit more homogeneous, and there's one way of like the old town and the new town, and the old town is also homogeneous with the Korean style of old houses, and the new areas were more or less same style like New York buildings. So they are very different, but also they're also very similar. So I think it's hard to explain. You really need to go and experience, and then you
Mm,
will
mm, mm.
as well.
Yeah, but clearly, if it was up to you, you would prefer Japan, right? That was maybe
That's also
your.
hard to say because I enjoyed very much in Korea,
Mm.
but um, I think I would go to Tokyo again because I think there's still more to see and explore and experience there.
Yeah, pretty good. So, and I'm sure that that is gonna happen rather soon, knowing you a little bit, right? So, I I don't think that in Japan can, yeah, maybe in next year or something. I don't know.
Maybe not next, but the year after next.
The year after, okay, 2025. Perfect
Yes,
to
that's
be
the
back in
plan.
Japan. So I think we talk about the community. I've heard this word, coming a couple of times. So, what is your partnership? I don't know, with the tech community, your relation with the tech community in
Mm-hmm,
general, and then we will probably talk a little bit more about the Google one because
mm-hmm.
we actually met at the Google I/O Connect Amsterdam 2023 that happened a month ago. It was the 20th of June, if I'm not mistaken. No, 21st maybe.
20
20th, 21st.
something,
So
yeah.
pretty much.
First,
Hmm.
that's so my relationship with community as a product manager, how I contribute to community is mentoring other product managers, or my favorite type of mentoring is people who want to switch to tech industry because they have understood the potential in tech.
Yep.
They understood that tech is not coding, as you said at the beginning. So some of my coaches or mentees are people who want to switch from completely other industry to tech, and this is where I can really share this explaining complex topics in a very simple way, especially I think
Hmm.
because with everything I have experienced and seen different level of complexity of problems also in work but in private life. I think sharing or explaining complex topics in a simple way is a thing that I believe I do well, and that's why my mentees are very engaged, and most of them find job in tech within 6 months to a year. So this is my general relationship, how I contribute to the tech community. When it comes to Google, I'm a woman tech maker ambassador, and as a tech maker ambassador, my contributions are organizing events, mostly woman empowerment, how to start your business as a woman, female founders, how to basically fight your world in a male dominated industry, because
Yeah.
we all know tech is purely male
Yeah.
dominated,
Heavily. Heavily.
have in tech and especially in entrepreneurship. So I
Mm.
believe there are a lot of girls and women out there who want to
Yep.
build a successful careers, but because of this social stigma and because of this kind of unspoken rule, people are women are not brave enough to basically go and step in. There are of course a lot of successful women that I know, but I believe it can be more. And that's why one of my other passions is to support and help and guide women and help them with knowledge sharing, with meeting other people, sharing career advice, or just an empowerment event where we gather together and we talk and share experiences. So yeah, this is my relationship with the community.
Yeah, this I don't think that no one should be brave and join tech. Someone just join tech. You shouldn't be brave to do so. We think that people are brave. So just by using this word, right? A woman, oh, she joined tech. She's brave.
Yeah,
No, she shouldn't. Tech is for everyone. You know what I mean? This is. I'm not saying that you say something wrong, but this is the how we think, right? How society for some reason. No, if you are not a man, super technical, you cannot join tech. It's absolutely not true. It's
I
absolutely
agree.
not true. And on exactly this point, because this is so important, something that we are doing with my company. So we are going. There is a lot of charity going on at News UK, which is great. And among of these activities, we also sometimes we go into some secondary schools. So we're talking about the 14 years old, 15 years old, that kind of ballpark. And we try to raise awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And I've done that a couple of times. And now I know a little bit what to expect and how it works. And I can guarantee you that if you go, we went to a schoolgirl in Bermondsey, so pretty
Mm-hmm.
in southeast London. So how it works when we get there is not just me and 10 other people, right? From news, trying to do a little workshops with them, try to raise actually awareness about what
Mm-hmm.
tech is, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we start our day, we after a 5 minutes intro, we ask, maybe there are, let's imagine, 30 30 40 girls there. We ask them, who amongst you think that maybe tech can be your future. Out of 30, maybe two raise their hands, maybe two or three. So very, very little.
Yeah,
Then, after the whole day, all the explanation, presentations, workshops, of course, aim towards a 15 years old person, not a adult. So, gamification a little bit, right? At
mm-hmm.
the end of the day, when we ask the same question, and I can guarantee you that where if there were like three people, now there are, I don't know, 25,
Oh
right?
wow,
So from less than 10% to easily more than 80%,
that's
easily.
awesome. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's great, because you got to explain these things. You need to raise awareness. Yes, tech, it is for you. And we don't care if you are a man, a female, black, white, yellow, blue, purple. We just don't care. You know what I mean? That's
yeah.
pretty
That's
important.
here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's
So we
a
Mhm.
way. Let's make it a move. People should be aware that tech is
Yeah,
for
exactly.
everyone. So many things that everyone, no matter the skill set, can fit into tech and can build something. So I am totally plus oneing for this.
Nice one, nice one. So women tech maker. So since how long you are a women tech maker ambassador?
So since November 2022, so last year. So
Okay.
not even the whole year,
Okay,
but
almost like 9 months or something like
yeah,
that, right?
yeah.
Around. Okay.
And yeah, I immediately joined the International Women Day because I was there in Bali. I organized an event there, and the topic was empowering women as entrepreneurs. We had four speakers who were entrepreneurs. So they were all successful ladies who had started their own companies, and they all shared exactly very live examples of how they were afraid to quit their full-time job and start business, how they were
Mhm.
afraid to sell to customers who were very male dominated, how they were having this imposter syndrome, how they were dealing with it. So it was really down to earth, a realistic event. And yeah, the results were great because a lot of people said, okay, now I want to start my own business as well. So yeah, this was the one event. And then I participated in several events as a speaker talking about empowerment or how to basically be a product manager, how to switch career advice. So it was around those topics that I have been contributing to.
It's pretty good. Yeah, pretty good and pretty important. So, quick question for you. So now you are really into this world, right? So officially, Women Tech Maker Ambassador, which, by the way, little secret that not many people know, I've applied to. I've applied to
Yeah, you
be a
said
Women Tech Maker. Ah,
that.
yeah, I
Did
told
you
you.
get
Did
accepted?
they should let us know at the end of July, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay,
That's
so next.
I mean, hopefully, finger crossed. So if I am gonna become a women tech maker ambassador, I can contribute even more towards that, which is great. So women tech maker, now you are really into this Google world, right? Because women
That's
tech
correct.
maker is an official program, yeah, run by Google. I don't remember 2014, 2013. I don't remember actually exactly when that program started, but now is a big thing, right? Is a reality. There are, yeah, it's something pretty cool. So, do you? Let me think. Are you planning on also joining a GDG group?
Right now, I haven't talked
Mhm.
about it because, as I understand now, GDG are technical experts.
No, no,
So,
no, 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 no. GDG, non GDE.
GDG.
GDE is Google Developer Expert. That,
Right.
of course, you need to be expert in cloud or Android or web. So that's a little bit more, techie. GDG, I mean, being part of a GDG group, I would imagine there is GDG, where you are, GDG Berlin,
That's
I would
correct. Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah. So after attending Google I/O and after getting the vibe and the motivation and meeting the people, all the great people like you and all the other people I met, I think yeah, that's something I would definitely be considering in the next few months. And yeah, then we can organize more product management topics as well.
Yeah, I mean, see, I mean, this is also right because the probably when you join a GDG group, of course, it's also your responsibility to organize meetups and events and whatnot. And of course, you are pretty much the one who decide what kind of event.
Exactly.
There is nothing, absolutely nothing wrong in organizing an event, maybe a little bit more product focused. Why not? I mean, clearly the vast majority of these meetups and events are a little bit more on the software engineer side of things. So let's make an event about AI and cloud and this and that, which are pretty good. But of course, we can leverage also other disciplines, right? And
Perfect.
if you join a GDG group, you can start putting your ideas there, and then you can make things happen, which is
Absolutely.
pretty
Yes.
good. Shall we last 10 minutes? I
Yes.
we gotta talk about Google I/O Amsterdam.
Oh yes, this was a good one.
Okay, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say
Yeah.
it. The
Same.
best conference that I ever been. Not that year. Period.
Yeah, I
That's
could
it.
agree on this.
Mic drop. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I can totally agree with this. It was
Wow.
just the smoothest event, and the organization was
Yeah.
flawless.
Yeah. I
It,
think like almost 200 people
yeah, maybe
were
even
were
more. I
part.
think.
No, 200 people were part of the,
The
organization.
organization,
No, the people in the conference were about 1100, 1200.
1100. Yes, exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So the organizing team was 200 people.
Let's say roughly, Alessandro Palmieri, ciao Ale,
Uh,
from Google, he was one of the organizer of the event,
yeah,
and he told me there are quite a few people contribute there,
I can
and
imagine.
you can, if you see the scale of that, it's like, wow, that was insane. We got lucky with the weather because the weather was the
Brilliant.
best weather. It's difficult to say what could have been better. What, blue sky, 25, something like that. It was
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah,
It was
yeah,
absolutely
yeah,
brilliant.
yeah,
And how, so did you attend any of the talks there?
yeah.
Hmm.
I was there the whole day attending talks. I was mostly in the workshops for AI and using the models because
Ah, nice.
as you know, I have engineering background, so for me it was
Yep.
really fascinating how we just getting the models and already use the what is already built to build your conversational AI product. It was total mind blowing. So yeah, this is something I was really enjoying it. And then after this, I got so many ideas how we can basically transfer this knowledge to other product managers. Because I believe as a product manager, if you don't work with AI, you don't know the possibilities of what is
Mm.
possible to build with those already built models. So we are now talking to one other person who I met there, how we can build workshops and build a course on applied AI for product managers. So yeah, this is a product that came up from that amazing event. But yeah, those were the main topics I attended, the workshops for implementing and applying the models.
Yeah, if you are not on top of this right now, you're probably doing something wrong because that's clearly the next big thing. You may or may not like that, which is a different story, but this is gonna happen. No,
It's
sorry, this is
coming, yeah.
happening. Is
It's
happening
happening.
right now. Is happening right
Second.
now.
Yes, yes.
Yes,
Now as we speak, it's happening, and it's
it is absolutely happening. Sorry, Raphael says engineering community should have more PM events. Yeah, you know,
very
absolutely right, because again, we should reiterate, we shouldn't look only at our little garden, right? So we
exactly,
should try to expand a little bit our horizons. So yeah, if
exactly,
as a software engineer, I think it's very healthy to get to know more about PM, a product person, right? Because you know very well how much you are benefiting from being a former software engineer. Now you jump the fence pretty much, but you
exactly,
you can use this engineering background in order to help you with this new product gig. And then also there is a little bit more rare, but there are product people that at some point they make the jump and they start coding. That can
exactly.
happen.
Yes,
that
heard
that
that.
can It's a little
Yeah,
bit more rare, to be honest, but that also can happen. And then you are a software engineer with a product manager, maybe mindset, right? So I'm a big
exactly.
fan of these hybrid things. I think they can bring
I think,
a lot
yeah,
of
I will
value.
do both. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So besides the tracks at the Google I/O Amsterdam, then there were quite a few activities. There was the boat trip. There was you could get just a small bicycle and cycle around. There was the beach volley. There was the mini golf. So,
Mm,
which of these activities did you enjoy the most?
the beach.
The beach, just stayed. Yeah, because when I met you, you were there, right? You were laying on a little chair there, having fun, not
And yeah,
chilling, pretty much.
meeting people like for first time in such an environment, chilling on the beach with like sunscreen and just having a nice chat about a Google community or about next event. It was such an enjoyable experience that yeah, really, I think yeah, it was the best event of a lifetime basically. Yeah.
It was insane. The problem now that the bar is so high. The bar is so high that
Uh,
I'm not sure what to expect from the
yeah, I
next
think
one.
that's hard to beat, to be honest.
it would be very difficult to, pass the bar. If I want to
Yes,
be honest, even get 70, 80% towards the bar is, good enough
good
because,
enough. I agree. Yes, yes.
I personally I didn't attend any of the tech talks because I spent the whole time, besides the keynote, of course, at the
Hmm.
beginning, I spent the whole day outside, walking around, meeting people, interviewing people, doing the little, courage with my partner in crime, Arianna. She was the one behind the camera, and she was no, she was the brain actually. So
Right.
you
Yeah,
might think that she's the arm because she was behind the camera. She was also the brain of many
okay.
things. She's very good. So yeah, I had fun. Just spend the whole day pretty much there. So it was
Yeah.
pretty good. When did you leave? The day of the conference or the next day?
After. So I had
The
I
day
had
after, same.
all day and then go out and then leave the next day. Yeah.
Same. I think a few of us, we left the next day. It was like 5 p.m. or something. So we
Yeah.
also had
The morning.
finally the morning and little part of the early afternoon to get to the city center, chilled during the day,
Same.
visiting, because that was the first time for me in Amsterdam. It sounds crazy.
Yeah.
I just haven't had the chance in the past. So,
Yeah.
great. So if you join the tech community, Google community, you can start to travel a little bit, right? Because I
Exactly.
think
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
conferences are an amazing excuse to travel and also to
Meet,
visit other
meet
countries.
people in your community. Absolutely. Yes. I think that's the best part of the conferences. Yeah.
Yeah, I do agree. I would like to finish this off just asking you like any interesting plan for the future. What's going on in your life? Anything line up that we
Exactly.
should we should know of?
So after spending 6 months in Asia and exploring and learning a different way of thinking and problem solving, I got this idea to basically create this product exploration kind of program, or I don't know if I call it program or discovery of products, which
Yep.
I want to structure it in a 3 month program for startups, where I can really share this different perspective of iterating products, so finding problems to be solved, finding solutions, iterating of solutions, getting this different perspective of how things can be solved, and basically work with companies on a freelance basis, on as a consultant basis. So this is something I'm still working on how to best structure it, how to market it, so the
Yeah.
companies understand the value. So this is cooking now in progress. I'm building the web page, I'm building the branding, I'm choosing the colors right now. So yeah, this is cooking right now and hopefully launching in September. So
Oh,
yes.
nice. Wow, it's very soon actually. Is in
Exactly.
a month. Is slightly more than a month time. So wow, crazy.
Yeah.
So you are planning on creating these bundles pretty much, right?
Exactly. Kind of a bundle, yeah, yeah, which can be modified based on what company needs and can be also as
Interesting.
innovation booster for corporates, which if this happens, that would be super happy and super excited. So innovation booster for companies, bringing something fresh to this corporate way of thinking and working, and then suddenly you have like this bump of something fresh. So yeah, this is I would something I would love to do.
Well, good luck. It sounds amazing, and of course, your experience so far can back that up because sometimes people have pretty good ideas, but is your experience really,
Exactly.
in your case, definitely yes. So
Yeah,
no
yeah.
question asked. That's
Question mark. Yeah.
absolutely great. So best of luck, and well, if you want, maybe in a few months you can come back and you can let us know how
How
this
it's going.
project is going, which is I'm genuinely curious. So I'm gonna ask you, anyway in private. Yeah. So thank you so very much for being here to
Thank you very much
entertain
for
us.
having me, Stefano.
That was a pleasure. And I wish you pretty much, yeah, have a great evening, fantastic, rest of your summer, right? Because we're
Yeah,
still the end of,
in summer.
July.
Yeah,
It's still summer, even if
even if it's
today
right.
in London is not, but It's fine. Yeah. So really, really the best of luck for everything. It was really great to have you here.
Thank you for the
Thank you.
invitation. It was a pleasure as well. And talk to you. See you soon, Stefano. Bye,
Yeah.
everyone.
Cheers. Bye, everyone. Thank you.